welcome back to the Book Cave with me, Jenny. So today I have a day off work and I'm going to try to read as much as possible it's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon today, and I go back in at 11 o'clock tomorrow night. So I'm going to see just how much I can read between those two times. And my main priority is going to be to finish Orbital, which is like 220 pages. Oh, I'm sorry, it's 206. And I am on page 49. So I'm sure I'll finish this. And then I have quite a few short books, so I'm going to mostly work on them. I have the Regency Fairy Tales trilogy, which is Half a Soul, 10,000 Stitches, and Long Shadow. And I would like to finish at least one of these, possibly all three, but we'll see where I get in this. Then I also have the Dead Cattail Assassins, which is pretty interesting. And I love the way it begins. It says, the Dead Cattail Assassins are not cats, nor do they have tails, but they are most assuredly dead. So yeah, that just kind of sounds like really interesting. And again, this is like 210 pages or so. So that's another nice short one. Then I have a Marigold Mind Laundry, which I would definitely like to get to because I only have probably about 2 weeks left on this at the library, because I know a whole bunch of other people had it on hold. And I want to say this is either the only copy or one of like 2 copies. So I definitely want to finish this. And then I have also Hamajang Luck and Ocean's Godori. Both of these are kind of like space heists. This is like the one final heist. It says, Edie is done with crime. 8 years behind bars changes a person. And it's all Angel's fault. She sold Edie out in what should have been the greatest moment of their lives. Instead, Edie was shipped off, to the icy prison planet spinning far below the soaring sky bridges and neon catacombs of Kepler Space Station. And then Ocean's Godori is about a disgraced Korean space pilot, an international murder conspiracy, and unlikely love among the stars. I just love like both of these covers, and they just both sound really interesting. Those are both closer to like, they're over 300 pages. This is like 330, and Hamajang Luck is about 350. So they're definitely maybes. And then today I just picked up The Charlie Method. This is the 3rd book in Elle Kennedy's Campus Diaries. Have I read Off Campus or Borrow You, the 2 series that come before this? No. Do I even have them? No. Have I read the first 2 books in this series? What was it? The Graham Effect and the Dixon Rule? No. Do I have them? Yes, I did get them from the library at least. However, again, this one is new. Just picked it up today. There's a bunch of other people have it on hold, so I'm going to assume I only have it for 3 weeks. And this, of course, is over 500 pages, so I'm definitely not going to finish it. I would, however, definitely like to start it. But, yeah, I have obviously a great big pile of what I would like to read. Ideally, I'd like to finish them all. However, if I can at least finish Orbital, I will be happy. This is due back to the library tomorrow, and I know a bunch of other people have it on hold. So yeah, I'm going to start with this and just see how far I can get. So I finished Orbital, and I realized I didn't tell you all what this was about. So, this is about a day in the life of a space station crew. There are 6 of them, and I want to say it's on the International Space Station, but it's not actually stated that that's where it is. And it's broken up into the different orbits. So there's 16 orbits in a day. So, like, it starts with orbit -1, so it's just a few minutes with that orbit, and then it goes in to, like, their different orbits. Some of the orbits you have, like, this is orbit 4, ascending, and then you have ascending and descending. And so basically it just kind of follows their life and what they think about and do on the space station, and how they think, like, when they can look out and see the Earth and stuff like that. So yeah, it was a pretty good book, and it was definitely, like I said, a little short one, and it's kind of like a tiny book, because honestly, even Half a Soul is tiny, and you can, like, see the size difference there. So yeah, and speaking of that, Half a Soul is what I'm going to work on now. So Half a Soul is book 1 in the Regency Fairy Tales, and this follows a woman called Theodora Ettings, known as Dora, and Elias Wilder, who is the Lord Sorcier. And basically, Dora has been cursed by fairies, and she only has half a soul. She cannot feel fear or embarrassment, which leads often to scandal. She is getting ready to debut in the London season and hopes to be a wallflower. And obviously, things don't go quite as planned. And yeah, this just sounds kind of like a fun little series. And I believe this is also supposed to be YA. I did not realize that. So yeah, I'm definitely interested to start this and see what it's all about. So as you can see, the sun is up, and I have now finished my second book, and that is Half a Soul. And yeah, I did like this. I thought it was pretty cute. And this edition also has a short story called The Lord Sorcerer that gives us a little more information about, obviously, Elias, the Lord Sorcerer. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. And as I said, I will be going on to 10,000 Stitches. And this one follows a character that we briefly met in Half a Soul. It is one of the fairy nobility, and he winds up being a fairy godfather. So I'm definitely interested to see how that one goes. So I wound up only getting through the 2 books that I've already spoken about, and then I did finish the last 2 hours of Catherine Center's What You Wish For, and then I read the prologue of 10,000 Stitches. So I've decided I'm just going to go ahead and make this a what I read in a week vlog instead of just a one-day vlog, because obviously I kind of failed at that because I had a lot of stuff to do, and then I fell asleep, and yeah. So we're just going to pretend that I never said it was 24 hours. it's a week now. So hopefully I can get some more done on 10,000 Stitches. I did enjoy the prologue and the introduction to our characters, so hopefully it continues on in that vein. So it's Monday morning, and I am halfway through 10,000 Stitches. Actually, I guess it's a little less than halfway. Chapter 7, page 90. And then I'm also about halfway through What You Wish For, which is my audiobook for this week or however long it takes me. So yeah, I am enjoying both of these. 10,000 Stitches, we're starting to get a little more into like the plot and forward momentum instead of just like setup. And I'm definitely interested to see how this winds up. And I did enjoy the first one, and I am enjoying this one. So yeah, this is a fun little series, nice and short. And then as for What You Wish For, this one is actually reminding me of a lot of Maybe in Another Life by Taylor Jenkins Reid. Part of the plot, at least, is pretty similar, and I definitely have a few characters that I have some opinions on, but I will save that for my full-on review. But yes, I'm going to read a little bit before it's time for me to go to sleep so I can go to work tonight. And I'm hoping to maybe have no overtime or just one day, and then maybe I'll go ahead and work Wednesday, and then I can have Thursday and Friday to work on my big ginormic list that I gave at the beginning of this. So I did finish another audiobook, and that is How to Walk Away. And I also started the Charlie Method, and I've gotten about 100 pages into it. So as for How to Walk Away, I did really like that, and that is another Catherine Center book, and it's definitely been one of my favorites of hers. I know I say that about quite a few of them, but I feel like this one really truly is. And for the Charlie Method, it's one that I'm a little iffy on, just because of the why choose trope. And so far we don't really have that too much, but it is pretty obvious that that's what's going to happen, because she is talking to the two guys. And yeah, that's another thing about that. It definitely has been starting out kind of spicy. But yeah, I'm going to continue on with that, and also with 10,000 Stitches. I've got about 40 pages left in that. And then I did start another audiobook, and that is After I Do by Taylor Jenkins Reid. And I listened to probably about 2 or 3 hours of that so far, and it's like 9 hours total. So it's not one I think I'm going to finish during this video, but hopefully I will make a little more progress in it as I do some chores around the house. So I wound up finishing 10,000 Stitches, and that was it. I did not get any further in any other books. So I made it to page 100 in the Charlie Method, like I said earlier, and then finished 10,000 Stitches. And yes, that is the end of everything I read this week. So I finished up one ebook, and that is What You Wished For. or I'm sorry, what you wish for. And I didn't have a whole lot left in that, but I finished it. I finished most of Orbital, and then I finished Half a Soul. I finished 10,000 Stitches. I did get a pretty good start, as I said, on the Charlie Method, and I did get a decent start. And then I finished another audiobook, How to Walk Away. I finished the whole thing, and then I listened to a few hours of After I Do. And I would say this is pretty average for a week, especially when I have a kind of heavy workload. But yeah, anyways, thank you for coming along and joining me here in the book cave. And as always, if you liked this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up icon and hit the subscribe bell so that you'll be notified every time I post a new bookish video. And I will have my Discord and all my other bookish socials here at the end. And I will see you next time in the book cave.